success is action. What's key to business success? Right, you've got the right mindset. That's what I want for tonight. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do, I run a shitload of business events across the UK. I've done about 1,000 in the last few years, and we bring businesses together, we get them networking. Relationships are really key to what we do. So part of what I'm talking about tonight is those relationships online. I might even touch on a little bit face-to-face, but I want to just make a point first. So quite often we play a little icebreaker game with people, which we call Liar Liar. And I'm going to play that little game with you now quickly before we start tonight. So for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to give everyone a bit of paper. I've got some pens as well, hopefully you've got some. In fact, I want to hand those around for John. I want you to write 3 statements about yourself. Okay, they're not allowed to be business related, right? Business is banned. 3 statements about yourself, but one of them has to be a lie. Okay, so you think about hobbies, achievements, interests, things that you've done, sites that you've seen, you know, whatever it might be. So, for example, when I play this game, my 3 statements are: I've run the London Marathon 3 times, I'm a fully qualified truck driver, and in the film Braveheart, I was an extra in one of the battlefield scenes.
You've never run a marathon in your life.
Yeah. So you're a cheeky bastard, and yes, I have, actually. So that wasn't my lie. So the way the game works is that I would tell you on a one-to-one basis, I would tell you my 3 statements, and then you would tell me which one you think is the lie. If you get it on the first attempt, you get 3 points. If you get it on the second attempt, you get 2 points, and if you obviously get the consolation 1 point if you don't, okay? Now we're going to play this game because it's going to illustrate a point, but I'm encouraging you to think about 3 statements about yourself and 1 lie. Just let me know when you're done. Has everybody got their 3?
So 1 lie.
One of them has to be a lie. So you need to fabricate something about yourself.
I once appeared on stage at the Crankies, and I was under 14s volleyball champion at that. Nice one, thank you. I was part of a team.
Right, folks, can I ask you to take your seats again? I've got quite a lot of visuals on the side. I know some people sat right up here. A new version of that. So we're all about supporting entrepreneurs and helping them in a load of different ways. I'm not here to pitch to you though, I just want to give you some value tonight, but that's kind of who we do. So we're a really big database of business owners in the UK. I'm an author, I'm a blogger, I've got a book on Amazon on social media and that type of thing too. Big believer in sharing content and knowledge for demonstrating expertise. I've been speaking on this subject for a long, long time, so cheeky git at the back there, as you can see I was thin then, I've been doing it a long, long time. And yeah, absolutely. But this is my Twitter biography, and I think that with these environments, it's about giving something of yourself, and it's about actually having conversations with human beings, because we buy people first. People trust the messenger before the message, and it's about building that rapport with people and getting on with them on common things. So that's just my flavour on this. Before I go any further, I want to say one thing. I don't believe there's any such thing as a social media expert.
Yeah.
Okay? This is an industry so much in its infancy and changing so dramatically on a month-by-month basis, I don't think anybody can stand up and call themselves a guru or an expert in this industry. I just want to make that clear, okay? I'm an enthusiast, but that's it. Okay, so I found an official term around social. I'm going to cover social, but actually this isn't just about social, this is about innovation. This is about striving to change and to do things better, okay? So the whole talk is really centred around that, but I'm using social as a way of illustrating this. I found an official term, which it's a load of rubbish really. It's just a fancy way of describing the zillions of conversations that take place 24/7. Knowing intuitively how to make connections and start conversations. But I do think the knowledge gap with you guys, maybe not you guys because you're here and that's evidence of something, But it's all good and well intuitively connecting, but when you really, really understand the power of good relationships and good connections, that's when you absolutely fly. And I believe the older generation of business owners should be shitting themselves if they understand that, because the moment you guys properly get that, you're a dangerous competitor. And so that's kind of a point I want to make. I think we've got a great advantage. Our pace of change with the things that we do, the technology that we use, has been such a massive curve in the last 20 years that for a certain generation we're completely bewildered by it, I can tell you. But society's massively changed. I mean, I want to take you back to 1980, okay? TV channels in 1980, right? 4 TV channels, 2 of them with advertising, 2 of them without. And it was before the remote control was mainstream. So the second thing where the world has changed, what are the 2 big brands online that sell books and music? Amazon and iTunes. They don't write books, they don't make music, but because they understood the change in technology and they disrupted, they controlled route to market. Because of that, they're the only 2 brands that are really making music, making money from sales of books and music. And that's why artists nowadays are always looking for direct routes to customers, and publishers are looking for other ways to merchandise products. And you know, the rise of the festival and the concerts, because actually that's where the artists are now getting most of their money from. So the world has changed, but it means that publishers are looking for new routes to market. I've been offered several book deals in the last couple of years, not because anybody thinks I've got anything particularly interesting to say, but they do know I have a database. So we're in an age now where the size of your database and the amount you're engaged with it has a direct proportional impact on your bottom line as a business owner. So we all have to start becoming farmers of people and collecting people, because that's where the value is in your business. So I really want to stress that point. The world's changed. Understatement of the year, but the world has changed. They grew big to multi-million users because they went and bought Asian social networks. So Zing is really good if you've got international business aspirations and you want to do stuff abroad. Viadio is the French equivalent, and again they bought Asian networks, so it's a great way of going off if you've got international aspirations. You're probably wondering why MySpace and Bebo at the bottom there. I put them there for a reason. Who's heard the term Web 2.0? Who can tell me what it means? I get that a lot. Do you know what? Again, it's this thing where people put acronyms in and they think it's all big and clever. Web 2.0 isn't a technical term at all, it's a marketing term. First coined in a marketing conference in 2003, it simply means second generation of websites. So generation 1 was the brochures. It was, you know, the equivalent of our paper brochures suddenly put on the web, but it was also the early transactional web. To another level, it's the thing that gave them dominance. They introduced the concept where third-party developers could come and create apps and engage with their audience. And it would just, they knocked it out of the park from that point onwards. I mean, MySpace was bought by Murdoch for $670 million, and it sold 2 years ago to Justin Timberlake for $20 million. And you can see that, and he's now trying to make it much more of a music sort of face. But that was its demise. Bebo was actually a UK-founded social network, and they sold, the owners and founders sold just at their peak. And it was downhill from there afterwards. So they made their money and left just at the right time. But Facebook would have taken over. They would have struggled. It's so interwoven now through everything we do on the web. You know, it's on everybody's websites, and you know, we've built so much time and effort and energy into the conversations, the relationships, and the content that we've shared. I personally don't think it's going anywhere anytime fast. However, if a brand came along, because we're all pissed off with the privacy settings changing all the time. If a brand was to come along and say, press this button and you can import all of that stuff, the point I want to make to you is if you're a business owner and you're looking at social as a strategy, being on every site is simply just going to make you a busy fool. You really need to identify 2 or 3, maybe, that are appropriate to your type of business and stick with those. And that's the sensible way to do it.
If WhatsApp got a face, it would take Facebook over. It's owned by Facebook.
Yep. But you're right. My point is, communication is now, there's a grey line between communication. Digital has changed a lot of things, even Snapchat, you know, all of those sort of things now. It's a real fine line. For me, Twitter, as I said, it's not a social network, it's a news feed. And the thing is, the moment you've said something, it's pretty much gone off the page, so you've got a really small concentration span. But if you are sharing really good content on Twitter, you can just go and quickly assess when your audience is peak online. I can tell you, for a UK B2B audience, weekdays, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, are the peak times for most B2B audience. They pay them $150,000 to blend a pair of trainers. Now, why did they do that? credibility by association. If you remember nothing else from what I say tonight, remember credibility by association. This is about we're known by the company we keep. If you're developing powerful joint venture partnerships, those types of things, it's about forming the right partnerships with the right people. It rubs off on you, and your access to networks is absolutely fantastic. So just remember that point. But that's why they did it. And I mean, from a view point of view, multi-million. He's had over 250 million views on his videos collectively, probably just broadcast to the ones that are getting success. So I want to talk to you about periods. Okay? This is normally the one which makes the men kind of look down a little bit. But Bodyform, for me, are a brand that really, really understand engagement. Hi, as a man, I must ask why you've lied to us for all these years. As a child, I watch your advertisements with interest as to how this wonderful time of the month, the female gets to enjoy so many things. I felt a little jealous. I mean, bike riding, roller coasters, dancing, parachuting. Why can I enjoy this time of...
Hello, Richard. I'm Caroline Williams, the CEO of Bodyform. We read your Facebook post with interest, but also a sense of foreboding, and I think it's time we came clean. We lied to you, Richard, and I want to say sorry. Sorry. What you've seen in our advertisements so far isn't a factual representation of events. You're right.
What all musicians do, he wrote a song about it, posted it on YouTube, got tens of millions of views. But the thing is, it affected their share price. Their share price fell. And the directors and the board had no idea what happened. And as a brand, they ignored it. So we did another song. Staff started getting death threats and all sorts of things. Now, if they were a client of mine, I'd have simply sat them down and said, right, first thing, we've got to apologise, and we've got to make it right. Let's round up every musician in the company, and let's put a song back apologising, and make sure he gets compensated. They didn't do that. It took a long time before things were put right. As a brand, it can affect things like share price. What was interesting, though, credibility by association, loads of guitar brands across the world started sending in guitars. So I'm not going to show you anymore. I would encourage you to go and have a look at KLM Surprise, but we're going to run out of time. I'm going to come on to apps. So towards the beginning of last year, there were 1.2 billion app users worldwide. And by 2017, they forecast 4.7 billion app users worldwide. The App Store is being used very much like a search engine nowadays. We've actually got a West Midlands member who's a coach who decided to go and spend £800 producing an app, which was lots of tips and advice and things like that. Put it on the App Store, won 2 clients in the first 4 months that more than paid for the app. So the app is being used like a directory as well. And you should start to think about how you might be able to translate what you do into an app. It's not expensive nowadays, but the numbers are just increasing, 30% growth year on year. You know, so things change because the mobile phone was just a phone. Now it's an oracle. It does everything for you, and we can't live without it. But that's how the world has changed. But the key thing here is that while we might think social apps are the big thing, it's only 5% of apps. You know, of course, gaming's big, but it's all those other applications now that we can use them for. So have an app strategy. Just at least think about it. It doesn't have a clear ROI. It's technology, of course it does. We can track everything. It can replace traditional marketing. I don't believe that's true. Forgo traditional marketing at your peril. Social media is something to complement traditional marketing, not replace it. Where somebody who will never buy from you can still contribute to your bottom line simply by sharing your content, simply by sharing your stuff. So we get people coming to our events now across the UK who are founded by third parties who've never been to our events. So it's a really kind of cool thing now, and you should have strategies for both. And again, only about lead generation. You know, the biggest thing that I find big brands, again, struggle with is the energy provider. And we did a bit of a footprint assessment, first of all, and half of the stuff that was said online about them was damaging, half of it was really good. But that was only because of their sponsorship of domestic sports. And influence and social capital is something that's increasingly more important. There's several brands that do this. But right now, there are people monitoring, which means that if you're really active and you've got strategies in place, you can give yourself a good clout score. But the thing to know is there are brands all over the place now, there are people all over the place who are making hiring and firing decisions based on clout scores. There's one industry I think this is relevant for. Social media and your marketing, okay? F is for foundations, right? So what I'm talking about here is I'm talking about your website, your social profiles, your the videos that you use. It's about making the right first impression, or the appropriate first impression. I'm not suggesting that you have to go and spend loads of money on video production companies to get your videos out. You know, some of my most viral videos have just been me holding my iPhone up at somebody, right? It's about the appropriate stuff for the appropriate place. Or links that are broken, or, you know, just stuff that doesn't compel people. I mean, there's a load of research done on the psychology of an internet browser, of a user. Right? So they did research where they took 400 people and they pinned their eyes open and they put cameras on their eyes. So when they were loaded a series of websites and they looked at where the eyes went, we know that when somebody hits the screen, I don't know if you can see the dot, okay, so your prime real estate is in that top corner, particularly in the right-hand corner. So what are you doing on your own websites to capture people's attention and to give them a call to action so they're engaged with you?
Logo on the search bar.
Pardon?
Logo on the search bar.
Logo on the search bar isn't good enough. What you need is you need some way of getting people drawn in. You see, the thing is, if you're paying for your traffic, or even if it's just happening organically because of the other stuff that you're doing, in that top corner you want people to engage and connect with you. Because even if... Pardon?
A big red button that says push me.
Well, I'm urging you to be the latter, right, and think with a win-win kind of morality mindset, but become more opportunistic, and you'll take much more advantage. So with your own foundations, write text that compels, have links that work, have something that engages people, give something away for free in that top right-hand corner, get great regularity with them, but don't just let them go, because people will give you 4 to 6 seconds before they're making a decision to navigate away from your websites. So what are you doing to hold them on the page and get them engaged? Foundations are important. Second is, I is for influence. This is your sphere of influence. This is your friends, your fans, your followers, your connections, your network, your reach, your ability to drive traffic. What's the point in having a bloody great database if when you send them somewhere you've made a bad first impression with the foundations? What's the point in having a brilliant website if nobody's visiting it because you've done nothing to go and build your strategy? These two things go hand in hand. Okay, so you need strategies for growing your database and being able to drive traffic. I particularly like employing youth in my business because they don't come with any baggage. In fact, I'm going to illustrate this point with this man. There's only 1 or 2 people who might know who this guy is in the room. Do you know? Okay.
What, the current team?
No, do you know his name?
Oh, no.
You don't want to give away your age? May not remember some of their early stuff, but they were really disruptive, and it was kind of shock marketing. And a brand called Benetton, a brand that had been in financial trouble for a couple of years because all they've done is the same thing over and over again. The point I want to make is if disruption becomes a pattern, it's no longer disruption. If I go into my office and my staff are working and I start barking like a dog, they're going to look up and look at me as if I've gone mad. If I do that every day for 6 weeks, do you think they're going to look up when they start coming in? Disruption's now a pattern, I haven't got their attention. So disruption has to be something that's continuously changing, doing new things. It doesn't mean shock, it just means interrupting patterns and getting attention. I haven't got time to go into these, but look, in fact, these slides, if you're interested in them, even a copy of my book on Amazon, some blog material I recommend. If you want to drop me down your email address, or even just DM me on Twitter, I'll follow you back, anybody who hashtag. I'm going to tell you a quick thing to close, a quick thing. So I like blogging, I like shouting my mouth off and doing all those things, but within reason, because at the end of the day, I represent a business community. This is really refreshing for me tonight, because I don't normally swear too much on stage. I'm actually able to relax and be myself a little bit more, which is great. But I wrote a blog a couple of years ago, which was social media lessons from the porn industry. And the point I was making was that there were 2 brands online, 2 industries online, gambling and porn, which you can't go and do traditional marketing. It costs too much. There's too many competitors. If you were doing search engine marketing as a porn website and you had a certain allowance for paying Google, you'd blow your load in a minute. Is that right? You would, because so you don't do it. Porn entrepreneurs, porn marketeers have to think outside the box. They have to have different strategies. They have to understand the changing Google algorithms because they can't rest on their laurels. From a niche-based point of view, niche in business or niche in everything else that you might do is where the premium figures are now. Even social networks, whereas once upon a time it used to be lots of people playing in lots of different places, Actually now, social networks, the ones that are starting to get traction, are the ones that are specialising. So it's all good and well you having multiple niches. I'm just saying have marketing strategies that go to those multiple different niches, and you'll get better results. So the more niche-based, the better the audience retention is. Okay, offering fewer choices actually increases clicks. I'm actually going to give you menus as an example for this one. So if you've gone to a restaurant and it's a 50-page menu, how long do you take to make a choice? Ages. And don't we get frustrated with that? Because suddenly now we want 4 things on the menu, and whatever we choose, we're unsatisfied. Okay, so from your point of view, the fewer choices, the more chance you've got of getting people clicking through. Remember I said people give you 4 to 6 seconds before they're making a decision to navigate away. So make it really simple for them. I love menus that give me 3 mains, 3 starters, 3 puddings, because I'm going to like something in 3, the choice of 3. So the first thing, Business In as a brand. We started in 2006. Look, I've had lots of businesses for, I say lots, I've had a few businesses over the last 25 years or so, and I've made some pretty bad mistakes and nearly lost everything. I've also had some really good wins where, you know, life has been kind to me. But my point is, throughout all of these ups and the downs, I was always astounded by the lack of support out there for entrepreneurs and for business owners in the UK. I think we're underserved by officialdom. So Business In really exists because we really want to help our members grow their businesses. That's what we do. So we do that in one of 4 ways. The first way is we help people raise their profile, get more visibility, get more clients. I hope I've demonstrated a little bit of that tonight with some of the content that I've shared. However, our networking events are awesome, and our network is awesome, isn't it? It is. Good. Tenner in the post. So that's one part of it. The second part of it is we help people save money. Through our collective buying power, we get things cheaper, and because we get things cheaper, you can be more profitable. So that's a big part of it. The third part of it is, as entrepreneurs and business owners, we don't know what we don't know. Now, if you get some things wrong, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, it may be a fine. If you get some things wrong, it's a custodial sentence. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just trying to say that we don't know what we don't know. And the fourth is about being part of a like-minded community. One of the things I said at the beginning, and I've said a few times throughout, is credibility by association. We're known by the company we keep. And there's nothing, I can honestly tell you, I wish I'd learned this lesson when I was your age, and this isn't me being patronising. I've kicked myself for not learning this lesson until about 10 years ago. But having a really good support network around you for when things do go wrong, or the right advice when things do go right, having that critical feedback on the issues that we face, or the incubator for the ideas that we have, it's really, really important. Your network is much more than just a place to go prospecting. So they're the 4 things we do. We provide a community of like-minded people. That's the 4th one. So as a brand, that's what we do.
And that's all for free?
Pardon?
And that's all for free?
No. To be a member of Business In, it's £25,000. No, it isn't. It's £195 for the year. Our events are free to our members as well. So you get all of that, plus other stuff, access to business lounges across the UK, sales data, training courses, free networking events, all sorts of stuff for £195 plus VAT.
We kind of support from IBS around kind of young entrepreneurs, creating entrepreneurial ambassadors to go out there to inspire other young people to make a change. So what we want to do is get the 2 teams together, so I can have both teams just on either side.
We help young people gain credibility using our partners to be bespoke person development. For example, this is Michelle. Michelle's currently studying journalism at the University of Birmingham. Michelle's just returned from a job festival, but is very disappointed she didn't get a job. After speaking to her friends, she then realizes the issue isn't contacts, but it's credibility. She then remembers university is promoting a program called Be Credible. Be Credible enhances her portfolio, so as a result, she contacts us. We meet with Michelle. We introduce Michelle to a professional within the industry that she wants to get into. Professional coaches and mentors her to a stage where she's work ready and able to produce her first publicized piece of work.
This work is published on our Be Credible online platform. The platform allows students from various industries to publish their work and gain followers and public recognition by building a portfolio of their accomplished work. Be Credible is an organization which is supported by people like you here today. So if you're a university, you can join us in helping your student enhance their the employability skills. If you're a business, help us help you meet your social responsibility by joining us for only a small yearly fee as a partner to benefit from our many services, such as discounted advertising, free recruitment service, and most important, the fulfillment of helping your local communities. If you're a local authority, join us by contacting us today to become our advocate or sponsor and be one of the key people who are responsible for decreasing Birmingham youth unemployment. If you're a member of the public, just think what this program could mean to your friend, to your son, your nephew, or your daughter when she walks out through that door and tells you, I got the job. Students, ask yourself, is £1 a month worth helping you take one step closer to you getting to your dream job? If the answer is yes, contact us today.
Now, whether you're a college or university student, using our thought-provoked methods, the Be Credible program helps you enhance your employment portfolio. Now, throughout this employability phase, most importantly, we aim to gain and build foundations for a successful career.
When will you be credible?
What's really going to, from your point of view, turn them away from doing it for free and actually paying you for essentially the same type of people?
Because the thing is that it's not just a work experience program. You will join as a business, is basically become our partners, which includes, we mentioned, like, obviously we're going to have the online platform, which will obviously get a member of the public to register and start using more often. And you will, as a partner, receive like 50% discount on advertising on that platform because you're a partner and you support us. Plus, obviously, we will build up a good network of students probably you might want to recruit. So we will offer you free recruitment service, and plus, obviously, we will other benefits like networking events and things that we will be able to attend, but only if you join as a partner.
Okay, cool.
You mentioned about you gain employable skills. Maybe I just got all these things, but how exactly are employable skills mentioned besides the main talking to people? I don't know.
Okay, so
how does talking to someone just
I think the key point was that you get a mentor, and that mentor, they take you through that process of towards building a portfolio full of work that you've achieved, and that throughout that time you've been mentored, that mentor itself, they have their own business, and the whole point is to get you into work with that mentor that you've been.
So basically, let's for example say you want to journalism, yeah. And but obviously you ain't got no experience, you ain't got no work, and nobody's gonna publish your work. So we will assign you to a professional journalist in the industry, so you get the contact. You can learn from the person and actually gain a bit more experience, and he will mentor you, get some of your work done, and obviously teach you where you're going wrong, where you're going right. And then obviously from there, when you produce your first piece and keep doing over the years, so while you're studying, you will have a good portfolio and experience of what you have created, which you can go present to other companies.
Which will separate you from everyone else, because no one really have a portfolio full of work.
So you'll be mentored in a professional environment.
Exactly.
We're looking to, because we've got quite a few contacts in the corporate world and like through different businesses and stuff. So basically, we've already been speaking to these people, and they're all on board with our idea. So it's kind of just like.
In how many fields, roughly?
Pardon?
In how many different kind of industries and fields? Because you've spoken about journalism, which is great, and I know the issues with that being an journalist. But what other fields are you?
They're very generic things like finance, things like accountancy, law firms, basic things like that.
To start with, we're going to target like the IT industry, journalism industry, like obviously the media industry, and we're going to target obviously, we're trying to identify like probably 5 key industries to start with, and then obviously hopefully from there to grow.
Our key emphasis is to run away from careers fairs, and we're trying to do things different because everything's turning towards the digital platform now.
So those who had questions in the networking session afterwards, if you want to keep asking them those questions, and then guys will get the feedback from you in the next session.
And a highly driven generation of new entrepreneurs in Birmingham. That is the three things that we aim for to provide this great city of Birmingham in the near future using our processes and our business. Our business is of two phases, phase 1 and phase 2, and say a bit more about phase 1 is Rico on this.
Hi everyone. What phase 1 is gathering people together in a festival kind of event where you'll be band together with local businesses in your specific area that have jobs available for people that just cannot find people. And what that will allow you to do is network with businesses, find local jobs at the time, and get live interviews on the day in the event. The event will also allow you to network with people around your area who do similar things to you, who want to find people to work with in the future. It also allows you to get work experience with local businesses who might not have jobs, but will allow you to shadow someone and work with them in their area.
And this is all excluding the 10 people that our event aims to get for us. These 10 people will be brought into phase 2, and Harry will tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so phase 2 is where it starts to get a little bit different, a little bit unique. So phase 2, we're looking for 10 people who display entrepreneurial skills, flair, intuition, and all that stuff that you think, you know, they could be put straight into a business environment. So those 10 people will be picked, they'll be coached, they'll be into workshops, and we will be looking to let them set up shop in a high street in their ward. So we're looking for community cohesion in the festival, but also a long-standing impact on the community as a whole. And so what they will do, they'll go into their own shop, they'll be able to pick what they sell, they'll be told to do what market research to do to make sure that people will actually want to buy their products. But they'll be there running their own business as a team, learning the skills, getting some job experience if they don't fancy carrying on a business after the shop. So if they want to move on, then they can. But it's all about giving people as much chance to, you know, not become a statistic, it's become their own person, to grow as a person, and that's what we think would be great for Birmingham. A highly skilled workforce, highly driven people, and high youth employment. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll open it up to questions.
So next 10 seconds, so you've got 5 to 6 minutes worth of questions.
We've got one more little example of what we're trying to do. I mean, our aim is to make a high impact in a short amount of time. What we've been told is we've got an area of people, a target market from 18 to 24, and these people haven't got jobs. So our aim is to cultivate these people. And using time and people, I'd like you guys to participate with me. If I say 1, just remember you're counting in 5s. So we're putting on an event, we're getting 5 people, so you're 1. We put on another event, you're now 5 people, you're now 5 people. We get 10 in the start, so 5 and 5, yeah? We run another event in our second, third. You guys will get 5, you'll get 5, well, you'll get 10. But count for us. We'll, on the second, third, we'll get another 10. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. By the end of, if you did this and it applied and you managed to group 10 people from every event for 2 years, you wind up making an impact of 3,000 people in 2 years. Imagine being able to get 3,000 people into employment in 2 years.
So that's 3 minutes, 30 seconds, so you've got about 5 minutes. I'm going to pick up the people who had their hands up from the last questions and then come around. So Katie, Ozzy, Mario, you get the question?
Yeah. Well, that's where the pitch video pitch comes from. So we're looking for a crowdfunding aspect, corporate sponsors heavily. Pardon? We haven't got actual names yet. But,
We actually do. We have Shout to the Charity who are willing to be on board with the event. We have local colleges in the areas that we're targeting on board. We also have Birmingham Met that we're trying to get involved with, and we have a meeting soon. And we're trying to get local people involved who actually have contact with the people that we're targeting. So we're trying to get involved with the colleges and youth centres.
We even have 2 of our sponsors present here. They believe in our idea, and that is Jazz from My Personal Development. And, well, Geordie's not here, I'm afraid he's in Paris, but I believe that 24boxingday.com will be sponsoring us.
24/7.
Yeah, 24/7.
What have you said?
First question. Basically, we do the job fair, the Printers Trust. I understand job fair is a great idea, but I don't understand people our age that you're trying to attract. There'll be 1,700 people, maybe more than applying for the same position.
Which is
hang on. Also, I don't understand. You're opening businesses on high streets and stuff. You're asking businesses on the high streets to come to the job fairs as well, and then from those job fairs you're picking 10 people. Is that right?
No.
So I don't understand.
No. What it is, it's for Angela's. Well,
let me just finish quickly. So it's only going to take a second. I understand if you're going to get businesses to come to the job fair to hire people, and they're local businesses as well, you're going to then put up businesses in their area. I don't understand what's going to look like. The first time, maybe you'll get people, and then the second time, when they realise, oh, they're just going to open businesses around the corner from us, I'm not going to go. You know what I mean? So it's just those two questions.
I think you need to understand that we're not trying to take anything away from anybody. We're trying to contribute to wards that aren't doing so fantastic. I mean, we're targeting the 10 worst wards for unemployment in Birmingham. Who's not going to want to help? The other thing is, you mentioned we're trying to encourage entrepreneurship amongst the people that have no jobs. So there's no job competition. We're trying to make them run their own business just like you are.
Competition isn't with the jobs.
It's with the local
There's only
employers.
competition for the jobs of people that go to your job fairs, and then they become entrepreneurs and open their own businesses. The second part of competition I was talking about is the businesses that you're now going to be affecting by opening new businesses around the world.
1 minute.
So there's two
You
levels
must
of
understand
competition.
that the nature of our businesses wouldn't go in direct conflict with the people around it.
Opening
We need to
businesses.
do
Okay,
it
I'm going to
under.
cut that there because there's still time to ask more specific questions if you need. Amy was next, then I said, and National, and that's it. So, Amy.
You know what I know you have, but it's still the same point as in like you guys are saying that you want to do 3-4 events over like a period of 2 years and taking more and more people on. You guys need to sort out 6 events in 2 years. And how you can get them all funded, because you need to have, after 1, maybe even 2 if you're lucky, but it needs to be self-sufficient enough to be able to provide income for itself to be, because people aren't going to give you more money for it.
You just answered the question.
It's also a scalable business model. So once we get to the King's Law, so either cannibalising and constraints and stuff, we can get all those things out. Then we're looking to roll it out across towards other cities.
I'll leave that there. Fair enough. This is a question and answer.
Just a quick thing. I'm currently working with a recruitment company now, and we've got a celebrity on board to kind of promote their work. Now, what they've found that with events, it's hard to attract that many people who would follow up their inquiries they make, simply because they take a bunch of literature and they walk away and they kind of leave it dumped. So how do you stay away, because obviously the online sort of presence is kind of growing, especially recruitment, Indeed, all these sort of platforms. How can you target those who are more online applicants as opposed to doing it on the day or?
Yeah, that's a good question. Basically, what we're trying to do, we're being person to person. It's not mainly online. Because what we're setting up base in colleges, so we're putting on the things in colleges so people are basically captured. So the people who are there will either be in education, or they will, not have a job, but they want a job, or they want to learn, or they want to deviate, differentiate from what they do. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. To follow it up, we'll make a database with all that sort of stuff, and then send out stuff. Yeah,
There will be an online presence.
Nash is the final question.
I like the idea, but I just think scale it down a bit. But I just wanted to ask, how do you measure your? So you talk about bringing 10 people on.
Yes.
What do you guys consider as a successful event, and what is it being measured upon?
A successful event to us would be to take 10 people out of the position of being unemployed and make them either self-employed or employed at a better rate than national minimum wage, obviously. Then, if those people manage to bring in their own 10, split them in, then it's global, it can go so big.
How are you measuring?
Measuring by people. How many people you can bring off that.
I've brought in another 10 people. I'm still not able to get into it.
Hold on. Sorry, say that again?
How will you measure? Right. I don't know if anyone else is understanding what I'm trying to say.
How are you measuring? Right, you're bringing in 10 people.
Yes.
How are you measuring the success apart from bringing in 10 people that you've brought in yourselves?
Oh, it's communication between the exhibitors that come to this.
Is it okay? For example, is it them securing long-term employment that you see on a piece of paper?
Yes.
Is it them
incorporating their businesses, employing further people within the city? Yeah, there's loads of ways we can manage the success of our business and monitor it.
Fantastic. Well, I'll leave it there.
Thank you very much.
It's always easy to prepare for someone who's in a particular position, and therefore you've got an idea of how you need to position what you're saying to them. But when it's raw in front of your peers, it's often the hardest thing you could ever do. So I'll just give another congratulations just for all the guys. And expose that to people who are attracted to that on a regular and consistent basis. But it's about making sure you go through that journey of understanding who you are, what you're about, and communicating that. It's about your authenticity, it's about the way in which you promote who you are and what you do. Warren earlier talked about and gave great examples of organisations who are showing their personality and their brand, and it's created monumental shifts and change, disrupting industries, sectors, different types of business quarters. You've heard from your peers who are going out there trying to be themselves to create substantial change in the lives of other people. So my challenge to every single person in this room is very simple. What are you going to achieve today that's going to create more achievement for others tomorrow? So what are you going to achieve today that's going to allow and help other people to achieve tomorrow? Because ultimately we live in a world where it's always about me, me, me. But you are the next generation of leaders who can help people to think outside of themselves. So that's HOT. That's the HOT 500. So thank you very much for being here this evening.
Okay, well, I feel a bit of a fraud taking the credit for the materials because as a business, we bought those materials about 2 years ago from somebody called the Essential Business Company. But I've been working with Gary and with Julie Stanford from Essential Business for the last 18 months, looking at how we can take the great training materials that she's developed and develop them into a programme that we are calling the Essential Business Journey. And it's great for me personally to be able to see kind of this journey actually coming to life, and hearing from Gary and from Joel about the development of you guys as you've been going through the process. So thank you very much for having me here tonight. This is the second HOT 500 event that I've been at. The first one was great, and this one is just as good as the last one. So hopefully I'll come back in another 6 months and see how you're getting on. But yeah, really good for me to see that you're all engaging with the materials and enjoying the materials and enjoying the process and still enjoying the HOT 500 experience. So.
Hi guys, I think I've stood up here and spoke to you on a couple of occasions now about a massive problem that we've got in Birmingham, and it's about having the highest percentage of NEETs, not just in the country but in Europe, which is a disgraceful tag for the city. It's a tag that no one wants to hang around the neck, especially probably the 4 biggest employers in the city council, ourselves, PwC, Jaguar Land Rover. We all sat around the table no more than a few months ago across the way at St Philip's Place at our offices and said this is unacceptable. We've got to do something about this. And I think via the power of being disruptive, that we were talking about earlier, and by doing something innovative, we found a model that we're developing, that we're piloting, that we're using through these young people, these fantastic guys who've been stood and pitched in front of you today, that potentially is going to change that. It's not going to change it overnight, but it might change it over time. And what we found about mentoring young people is young people don't necessarily react too brilliantly to stuffy guys like me in suits. They learn better peer-to-peer from their peers. And if we can empower and we can embed some knowledge in their peers to actually bring each other on and make them better out in the woods where it's relevant to them, then that's far better than us riding in on a white steed and thinking like we've got all the answers, because we haven't. So that's why we're involved, that's why this has been really, really powerful. Thank you to Joel, thank you to Gary, thank you for the material, and thank you more importantly to the guys who've engaged in the programme so far, because it's just been fantastic and it's going to keep getting better. So well done.
So how did you find your first time at Hot 500?
Yeah, I found it really engaging. I think the speaker Warren was really engaging. He was really captivating, and I really enjoyed what he said about social media. And now I can apply it to my business.
So tell us a little bit about your business. What is it that you're actually looking to do, and how have you seen this being able to help you to do that?
Yeah, my business is basically a battery-operated portable shaker. So my plan is to market this to the health and fitness industry in order to remove lumps from protein shakes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So learning about social media today, how does that help you? How would you think that can help you in your business?
Yeah, so basically I was thinking about collaborations with protein manufacturers, sports brands, sports individuals, and I can engage my audience based on those industry leaders.
And do you have a kind of a website, or is there any kind of call to action that you may have? Is there anyone who would you want to talk to about what you're doing?
Yeah, basically my website is spiralshaker.com, or you can go on my handle, which is at Spiral Shaker, or my Facebook page, which is Spiral Shaker.
Well, thanks for coming today. It's really good to see you, and hope to see you next time.
No problem.
Thank you. So, what's your name, and tell us a little bit about your business?
Right, my name is Aditya. I'm part of BC. It's an entrepreneurship team in Birmingham, and I'm planning to start my own clothing brand. It's a fashion brand, and my business model is to provide exclusive clothing for a reasonable price with the social mission. So everywhere you buy from my company, I will be providing a pair of clothing to less fortunate kids in Africa.
Fantastic. It's a real social enterprise element to what you do.
It is. It's a part of social enterprise, but it's not exactly. It's a business.
Yeah.
I'm trying to provide a good quality price, social mission, and exceptional customer service.
Fantastic.
And I think these are the four key points of my business. It's the backbone of my business.
Fantastic. So in terms of Hot 500 today, so bearing in mind those ideas and what you want to do with your business, are there any elements that you've taken from today that you can now go and use in your business?
I think what 500 today was absolutely brilliant. It hasn't ended off events, but I think this one was really great because it was talking about it was on point. It was talking about honesty and how business actually picked up. And I don't know a lot about marketing. I was thinking about different sort of marketing, what other brands does, but I think from the video and from what Warren Cass said, I think I've got a different point of view now towards my business marketing.
And that's fantastic. Well, thanks for coming today. I really appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Warren Cass, founder and CEO of BusinessScene.com. I've been asked tonight to come to the Midlands to talk to the Hot 500, which is an entrepreneurship organisation for 16 to 24-year-olds, encouraging and educating. It's an absolutely brilliant event. Really, really enjoyed it. What I've been particularly impressed with is the confidence in this group of young people who are going out and forging their own way and finding their own businesses. Tonight I was invited here to talk about disruptive marketing and disruptive innovation, just thinking differently and how to attract attention. We live in a society now where people are bombarded with so many messages. It's confusing, and we, by natural process, we start to filter all of these marketing messages. So disruptive thinking is about grabbing attention, standing out from the crowd and really making a difference. It's been a real thrill to come and talk to the audience here, and hopefully they'll invite me back.